There they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more, and the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to another big edition of Talking Trots here on the Associated Podcast with Tab Radio, and another big show this week. We're really heating up as far as the Spring and Summer Carnival goes, and coming into this week we've got the James Brennan Memorial, which is now a big lead up into the WA Pacing Cup, but there's all the Derby runners that are hitting the track at the moment, getting ready for the Derby in a couple of weeks. We've just had the Oaks, and we're coming into the Mares races as well. Unfortunately, Mortz can't be with us this week. He's got a lot on at the moment, a big Retrovision conference, and Mortz has had to have the week off, but I am joined by Hayden King. Hayden, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Michael. Great to be back. And
we might have to change the opener. We might have to get a couple, because you're on it probably more than Mortz and myself these days.
Probably. Lately, it's probably been a 70-15-15 split. But I'm told by you that despite Mortz's absence tonight, he's bringing a big crew tomorrow, so yes, that'll make up for it.
The conference, the Retrovision, I'm 50 at Gloucester Park tomorrow. He's going to be a busy man because he's got about 5 horses in as well. So running between watching his horses and the other owners, and then going up and into the corporate boxes with the rest of the team, tell you what, he's going to be fit by the end of the night, I can tell you.
Yeah, there might be a big entourage going down to the stables if he gets a winner as well.
Well, exactly. And the winner's room. We almost didn't fit in the August Moon team last week, so I think we almost had shifts, but could be very big as well if Mortz wins. There could be 50 Retrovision people just crowding in.
Yeah, well, it was my first time in the winner's room last week after getting wiggy with it.
Yeah.
I don't own anything of it, but
neither did Matty Joss.
No, there were 3 of us in there, and none of us owned any of it. But
we could have probably done the show live with our 3 or 4 listeners.
I think we should just get them in next week.
Yeah, maybe.
They can just sit there.
Yeah, come and watch the show. Come and watch the show. Add Eddie in there, and that's our virtually our entire team.
Eddie will fill the place up.
Eddie's in Perth, coming towards the end of the year. Great to see Eddie. But a big show coming up. It's been a big week this summer carnival. How good's the racing been, Hayden? We're coming in. We've had the 2-year-old racing into the 3-year-old racing, which has started with the Oaks, and now we're getting into the Derby, and now the open class racing starting with also the Mares.
I think the last week or two has been a harbinger of what's to come, especially tomorrow night, where we get that James Brennan Memorial Field. Despite only being a Group 2, it carries a 6-figure purse, and it has assembled a crack lineup, and it's only a portent of what's to come over the next month or 2.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Magnificent Storm to come back. He'll go straight back into the Pacing Cup calculations, and a few other horses. We may even get a couple travelling as well, because I know there's a couple of interstate horses ready to come over for those 4-year-old races, the Mares races, and you never know with the Pacing Cup.
Could be a good opportunity for a Mares assault from over east, because we don't
I know there's at least one looking to
in
come
absence
over.
of Wonderful to Fly. Not saying she is going to be absent, but there is a gulf sort of between her and the next best. So it could be a good opportunity to come and scoop some money.
Tell you what, it's a bad year to come over for the Derby.
Yeah. That might send a few back home.
It's as good a 3-year-old crop we've had in a long time, isn't it?
And we keep saying this, there's one that's head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, and tell you what, I think if he was racing in the Victoria Derby this week, they would know what hit him. and we're about to talk to his trainer in just a moment. But we're talking of Never Ending. He went around yesterday in the country derby at Bunbury. Let's listen to that, and then we'll chat to his trainer, Justin Prentice.
5 metres. In second place, we have Running on Empties, about to get towards the outside. Skipping class, Alexandra the Great. It's in front, Never Ending. On the inside, Running on Empties, running a really good race, but down to the line, he's in cruise mode. Never Ending wins. Second there was Running on Empty. Third.
Yeah, he was in cruise mode, and he continues on his way to the derby. His trainer, Justin Prentice, who has a big team in at Gloucester Park tomorrow night, joins us on the line. Justin, welcome to the program.
Hi, Rad. Hi, Hayden.
How are you, mates? You must have been happy with the way that yesterday went. Just it was almost like track work.
Yeah, I was happy. Obviously, sort of good to see him get around and do everything like we'd hoped he would. And Junior was he settled better in front than what he did to start before. So yeah, he looked nice and controllable out in front, and yeah, good to see him get around. And obviously, it was extremely easy for him, but it was still, I mean, he still ran solid time. So it was good to have that blowout and head towards the Western Gateway.
Yeah, well, the Western Gateway's next week, and then the Derby 2 weeks after that. A lot of buzz around him. You've spoken about it before, trying to enjoy the moment, but with every run, there's even more buzz. And like even Senior came out during the week, said he's the best 3-year-old he's ever seen. How are you still relaxed with him at the moment?
Relax is probably not the right word to describe. I definitely get a bit more stirred up with him than sort of any other horse. But I guess, I have to really. And he's just, I mean, he's not the easiest horse to, train and that at home. I had trouble catching him yesterday before I went to the Trots. He thought it was quite a fun game to have me walking around the paddock in a panic, thinking I might not even be able to get him there. But yeah, he just sort of has his funny quirks, and I feel a lot more relaxed once he's out on the track, and knowing Junior's on board's a massive help, and he's obviously getting his advice when he comes in, sort of how he is, and having Junior's just a massive help to help me sort of with his training and that as well, and just the confidence and knowing that Junior will look after the horse, and he's done it all before, and I don't have to worry about that part. It's a big help.
Well, the fact that he is such a hard horse to train, does that, I don't know, make it more, I don't know about whether enjoyable is the word, but does it add to the experience that you do? He's not just a push-button horse that you take to the races every week?
Well, I guess it adds to the experience. It probably doesn't really add to the enjoyment in the way that sort of people just see him at the racetrack, and I guess probably think, it's sort of easier, to take him there and he just wins. But it's sort of definitely hasn't been that simple. But I guess I've tried to sort of enjoy it where it's not just relief, because the enjoyment that you get out of winning a race is when it's pure enjoyment over just the relief of it over. It's a big difference, and so far we've been able to enjoy that with him, and big group of owners that we get to enjoy it with, and I think hopefully one day we get the opportunity to travel with him, and I think that's probably the next step of his maturity, of something that'll be really good for him to go away and experience a different stable. I've obviously bought him as a yearling, and Chris Prosser broke him in, and then he's been here ever since. So probably to be able to take him away from that experience, of being at home all the time, just to somewhere else, and I think that'll probably be good for him and help him grow up a little bit. He's just a big baby still. He thinks everything's a game, and tries to sort of think he knows what he's doing himself, and he'll do what he wants to do when he wants to do it, and that sort of thing. I think he's just got that sort of thing to learn, and hopefully we have an opportunity one day to take him away and get him to a different environment, and all that will sort of click, and he'll mature mentally as well.
I was speaking to Luke Edwards after August Moon won last Friday, and it must be similar to what you said, relieving in the sense that Luke had that horse that was one of the top seeds going into the Oaks the whole way through. You have the top seed heading into the Derby. Was it relieving in a sense, Justin, when he lost that race at Gloucester Park? Obviously, it's not ideal, but it does take that pressure off your shoulders. Is that how it felt after that night?
Yeah, to some degree it did. Other than the fact that, we thought, we're fairly sure why he did it, but I wasn't 100% sure, and obviously that was probably the only nagging thing. But earlier on in his races, I never really, I guess because a lot of his races as a 2-year-old towards the end, they were Group 1s, you were only concerned about him coming to the, and winning, hoping he can win that big race. The actual sort of win streak never really come into my mind, but it's towards the end there that it really started to, people would talk about it and that sort of thing. So to some degree, I guess, yeah, it was a relief that, we didn't have to worry about that anymore. And I'm sure it was probably a relief for Junior as well, because I know that he didn't want it to be because of a bad drive from him. And I guess it was probably the best way for it to happen was just a misdemeanor at the start, and he still performed extremely well that night. And I think, to some degree, to answer your question, it was a bit of a relief, and now we sort of just move on, and he's got sort of 2 more jobs to do this prep. Hopefully he can get the job done on both occasions.
Well, you're heading to the Western Gateway in 2 weeks' time. I tell you what, though, Justin, it's not the easiest year either. Like there's a few nice 3-year-olds going around, and they go around tomorrow night, and you've got 2 in the race, including Rolling Fire and
Mickey's Beach.
Mickey's Beach. It's a pretty strong year. So it's not just he's not just going to go around for fun.
No, definitely not. I said to Emily the other day, I reckon they could have 2 Derby fields this year, and I reckon the second one would be as strong as we've had, a lot of Derbies in the past. But it's a good field again tomorrow night, and I think there's quite a few that maybe still aren't there. I've got Mickey's Beach has drawn well. He's got plenty of ability, still very mentally immature, and that's why we've taken a long time to get him to the races. He hasn't had a lot of race starts, but his run in the Battle of Bunbury was really good, and we've got to draw advantage tomorrow night on some of the the better ones. So leave it up to Denny whether we can take advantage of that or not. I'm not sure. Rolling Fire obviously had to draw 9, but I thought his run in the Battle of Bunbury was superb, and his the distance will suit, and I'm really happy with the way he's going at home. I definitely think he's on the right track, and he's not without a chance of winning the Derby either.
If you were able to seize the initiative on a horse like Mickey's Beach and take the front early, would you keep it?
Yeah, I definitely want Denny to give him his chance in front. I think, we need to sort of do what we can to see if, we've got a opportunity to get into a Derby or not. And if he was able to get the front tomorrow night, I'd like to see us, keep that advantage and give him his chance out in front.
Well, you've won the last 2 derbies, and they're both in tomorrow night. Race number 2, Tricky Mickey. Suffice to say, probably his last campaign, you've had a fefew issues with him. You spelled him, and you've brought him back first up. Are you happier with him this campaign?
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way he looks, and his work at home's been good. So I guess probably the biggest issue was not 100% certain why he wasn't at his best last campaign. So until we get to the races and give him a few starts, not going to be able to say 100% that he's back, but everything at home suggests that he's as good as he can be, and probably a good draw for him first up to get a nice easy run. And if he gets the breaks, then I think he's definitely a good chance. But if he doesn't, he's obviously going to get a nice handy run there, and not too much of a gutbuster first up.
Your other Derby winner, let's skip race 4, we'll come back to it in a second. Your other Derby winner, Mighty Ronaldo, and also Rich Vision Fremantle Cup winner, Ronaldo goes around the James Brennan, and it's really hotting up now as we getting closer to the Pacing Cup, Justin, and it's a fantastic race tomorrow night. Draw not great for you, but how's he going?
Yeah, I'm happy with the way he's going. He ran home good last start. Obviously had a nice trip. You'd expect him and want him to run on well from that. So it's not the perfect draw, but it's a draw where you're not going to do much different to what you'd do anyway with him. He's not going to do anything out of the gate. We'll just slot him into a spot and hope there's plenty of speed on, and just save him up for that one last kick at him.
Justin, race number 4 on the program. You've got El Chema, who's fresh into this assignment, and also Mr. Fantastic. Firstly, El Chema, how's he coming along?
Yeah, I'm really happy with him at home. Hayden, him and Tricky Mickey have sort of worked up together most of this prep, and both their works have been, fantastic. El Chema's really happy with him. He looks fantastic for him, and it's a bit of a tricky draw. I'm not too sure what we're going to do early and where we end up. But yeah, I mean, he's a bit like Mighty Ronaldo. He's got an extremely good turn of foot. So hopefully either way, we're not too far off the speed. And it's a really good race. So it's going to be a good test for him. But I do think he's up with a free-for-all class. So hopefully he can perform well, and we give him the opportunity in the coming weeks to prove himself against some of the better ones.
Mr. Fantastic must be a frustrating horse for you, because he's got plenty of ability, but again, tomorrow night it looks a difficult ask from out there.
Yeah, I think 2 starts ago he sort of got on himself. He cross-fired a bit, and I think maybe that's why he underperformed terribly in front. He's generally I thought when he found the front, he'd probably go close to winning that night. And then last week, I thought he was a really good run. He, tracked him to the race following Valentine's Brook and never lost any ground off his helmet, which, is a good thing for him to do when he's not on the rail. So, but yeah, tomorrow night looks a bit too hard for that barrier draw.
Rainbow Rabbit. Drawn bad, but he's not out of this race.
No, it's probably not an overly strong race on form, but he's another sort of frustrating horse. Junior called him a few names last start, which I don't hear Junior call mine too often. But I think he gets a bit frustrated when he gives him good steer and the horse don't perform as he wants them to. So, he's just one of those horses on the rail. He's a giant killer. He runs sectionals that not too many horses can get over the top of him, and off the rail, he's, sort of swaps away and looks quite average. Not going to be on the rail tomorrow night, I wouldn't think. So, Junior will have to wait up early. He ran through a couple of starts ago when Still drove him, so if he's got to do that, then happy for him to do that. But he's got plenty of ability, but I'm not sure. He's a really big horse. Not sure that the smaller track across the park sort of suits him quite as good as the bigger tracks. But he's sort of that class. He could win a couple in town with the right people. He could go run 4th off, so you might as well go to town and see if he can get better goals.
And finally, Heart of Vale, you've got 8 in tomorrow night. She's a filly that's owned by Trots that you picked out of the sales, and every time she's hit the track, she seems to improve and gets a draw tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's a good draw. I was really happy with her win last start. She's certainly improving all the time with her work at home. And even last start, Junior said she's very green. He said he changed his mind about 4 times the last sort of 200 metres, thinking that there was no chance of winning, and then he was going to win comfortably, and then he thought he had no chance of winning again. She's sort of not 100% sure what she's doing. But I think, from that barrier draw, it's going to give her a good chance to run a really good race, sort of come through that last run good. So hopefully she's still by the last on Friday night.
Hey, Justin, just back to Rambo Rabbit quickly. You don't have any temptation of trying to shoot across at the start because it is a mile and he does look the fastest beginner on that front line. You could get a good run down at them from that gate. So has that thought crossed your mind?
I'll just leave that up to Junior. When Junior's on, I try not to have any thoughts cross my mind too much about tactics in a race.
Because you'll be disappointed.
I just leave that up to him. And
well, it doesn't matter in the end. You can think about it all you want, and Junior just does what he wants.
Yeah, and he's better off when you leave him do what you want. I think sometimes if I put something into his mind, then it might have been something that he hadn't thought about, and that's never a good idea. So on the golf course, I think maybe he needs a bit of tutelage, but I don't think out on the racetrack he does.
Now, before you go, your yearlings that you bought at the sale, I think they're just most of them that you bought at the APG sale, particularly in the Perth sale, are coming to the end of their prep. How you bought 4 at the sale? How have they progressed for you?
Yeah, I've been happy with them all. They've all just finished their prep, so a little bit later coming in with them having an accident and sort of not having somebody else here to do, fast work. The early stages were pretty hard, and then towards the end we were able to give them some good education, work them together, and really happy with the way they come through and just have a short let up now. And they all come through good and happy with them. So look forward to giving them the next prep, and the good ones will sort of jump out of the pack. And it's always exciting with the new ones coming through to see how much they improve next prep. And I mean, quite often you don't quite know what you got until you get to trials or race day. But it's always exciting every year to see. Hopefully, you might have another never-ending there.
Let's hope so. All right, mate. Thanks for your time. It's a busy period coming up. You got a big night tomorrow night. 8 runners. Have you had 8 runners in before?
Yeah, I have a feeling that I might have had 9 runners in before when the Westbred used to be all on the one night. I remember having to take 3 horse floats up to Gloucester Park, which was a bit of a mission, but we got the truck and the float. It's been a long time since I've had 8, that's for sure.
All right, mate, it's a busy time, and then we go into the Derby. Good luck. Let's hope everything progresses well for you, and we'll see you at the track tomorrow night.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Good on you, Justin Prentice. And tell you what, 8 run. I can't remember him having 8.
No, he is right. It's a big task.
Yeah. Got
to have some pretty handy workers behind you as well, because that's not a one-man job.
No, it's certainly not. And he's got some ammunition at the moment. I've got to say, I don't think I've seen a better 3-year-old from WA coming through, particularly a WA bred horse. But yeah, he's certainly causing a stir in the east as well, because I know there's plenty of them over there looking at him as a potential Eureka horse next year. So when he talks about travelling as the next big mission, I'd imagine the Eureka's the aim for him. Yeah, wow, that would be something to see. You're all right. I can't remember a 3-year-old like him. Perhaps Alta Cristiano, but then again, he was New Zealand bred as well. So he is really our flag bearer for West Australian harness racing in the deepest sense. Yeah.
So credit to Justin and the horse.
And talking about the horse he bought at the yearling sales, he bought Trots bought with Justin a Vincent out of Moon over Manhattan. So it's a half to Manhattan Moon, who went really well in the Golden Slipper, and Ra was got 5% to give away coming up. So they're not going to run the Harness of Dream this year, but Sean Hughes and the team are working on a way to give away that 5%, I think, coming into Pacing Cup. So speaking to Justin, he sent some videos out today to the rest of the owners, and there's only 5% left in him, but knowing Justin, it's got to go okay.
Yeah. Am I eligible?
I don't know what the
I doubt it.
They haven't actually suggested what the eligibility is this year, so
it should be open to media people only.
The media award.
Yeah, I'll just produce an article. I think Ken Casellas probably has us covered, but
well, I reckon the best article I've read this year is the Ken Casellas article about himself winning that race. I don't reckon I've seen a better article.
What did he talk about?
When he won that race with Simply Shaz, the Group 2, I think it was.
Oh, I thought you meant himself, the Bond horse.
No.
I was so confused.
No, Kenny talking about
himself.
Kenny.
Yes, okay.
Talking in the third person.
Yeah. That would have been.
I reckon it was as good an article as they've been published.
I did read it. It would be a strange feeling as a journalist to be penning about yourself in like third person omniscient perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We might have to give you a go. When on the back foot wins a big race.
Well, yeah, that would be nice in itself. I'd be pretty happy with that. Yes. The trotter goes around on Monday.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Improved.
If it wins, I'll write a monologue about
and deservedly so.
My roller coaster of emotions having owned him.
Yeah, indeed, with a powerful group of owners. Are you there tomorrow night?
No.
No, who's doing the tips? Out the back.
It'll either be Trent or... I reckon it's Trent.
Trent's make the comeback.
Yeah. It's about time Trent got back on campus.
Yes, ready to roll. All right, big meeting at Victoria tomorrow night. We've got the Victoria Derby. Petrarca's the favourite up against the Lost Storm, who was defeated in the heat last week, which was a major boil over. But I tell you what, talking about Never Ending, I reckon he's every bit as good as any horse in that Victorian Derby.
Has to be. I don't know the Victorian form that well, but I'd say some astute Victorian judges would be in total agreement.
Yeah, and the Victorian Oaks is on, and the Victoria Cup, and I tell you what, it's as good a Victoria Cup as we've seen
this
in recent
millennium.
times. Yeah, probably in the last 10 years, maybe a little bit before that. But it's, with the Queenslander going down there, it's a really good race. It's and we've probably lacked really champion free-for-allers for a long period of time. Like the last 4 or 5 years, we probably haven't had, someone dominated like maybe a Quinny or we've had a couple of really nice horses, but COVID sort of stopped them from racing against the best and a few others. But I reckon with the Victoria Cup this year, it's one of the better fields we've seen in the last 10 or so years.
I looked back, and the one I was immediately drawn to was that Breeny's Fella one.
Yeah.
And I checked when that was. It was January 2000. So my claim, claim might be a month off.
Yes, and it was part of the Inter-Dominion as well that year, the 2000 Victoria Cup. Breeny Fella, the Victorians, as Dan Malecki said. Craig Demler driving Breeny's Fella for his father Ted. It was a great year with Shaker Maker and
Christian Cullen
and the like. Christian Cullen probably, I think he had a few issues around that time. I reckon he's peaked around 98, 99. Christian Cullen, but
I think Courage Under Fire was in it.
Courage
as well.
Under Fire would have been around there. But yeah, there you go.
Anyway, just highlights how good this field is, and when you have a horse of the calibre of Bulletproof Boy, who stamped his claim last week, still miss out.
Yes,
speaks volumes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's probably, and we had a look at it before. A mile race coming into a big cup, I don't think is the ideal lead up, especially forcing her way through to the field. So I don't know whether they get a review that. We certainly did. With a few trainers mentioned that it's hard to get in the race over a mile to press your claims for a Victoria Cup. Whether it's probably a couple of weeks before and maybe another race leading in, but there you go. He won the Smoking Up in his first reserve, but I think that goes to how strong the field is. Now, we spoke about how good Justin is about 2-year-olds. Produced another one last week for a city win. He was pretty smart as well.
Artful Major.
Yeah. Did you tip him on top?
No, I tipped Off the Charts. I still think if Off the Charts had have been right on the gate, he might have crossed and he might have won the race, but that's taking nothing away from Artful Major, who too was at lucrative odds, considering on his starting price profile, he went around favourite in that key lead-up race to the big one, the $215,000 race.
Yeah.
Oh, the Slipper, sorry.
The Slipper.
Yeah.
That was his chance to get in.
And nothing went his way. It wasn't his fault. And then he goes around 4 times the price in that small field Friday. It's pretty absurd in retrospect.
And did all the work sitting outside and looked to have him covered a fair way out. Like he ranged up and you didn't know what was coming off his back, but it was a really good win from Artful Major. He's a horse that Justin bought for the team out of the nutrient sale in Melbourne the previous year. And once again, there's plenty of owners that are in Never Ending in it, and also Jeff Westwood, who was a Trotsin owner who moved into another horse of Justin's, and that's what Trotsin's all about: entry ownership into ownership of other horses.
Absolutely. Any way we can get more people involved, the better.
Exactly. He's a member of Gloucester Park. Jeff, he's got to be there tomorrow night. I think he's a shareholder in Heart of Alia as well. So great to have Jeff and the team of Jeff and Dawn and the team. But let's go to the break. Once again, Glenn Mortimer, can't he find a horse? Artful Major sat outside, then you came along and was too good.
Roberts get 5 winners. She's only just in front. Then you came along, joined by Artful Major. Ideal Muscle, the Little Master struggling, but it's Artful Major. Hall getting the better of Roberts here. Artful Major hits the front from Then You Came Along. Ideal Muscle's coming late, and so is Off the Charts, but in front is Artful Major near the line, and Artful Major has won. Artful Major from Ideal Muscle. Third home is Off the Charts.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
Lifting, Turn the Page is 3 wide, and then came Zafira. August Moon has got the front with Turn the Page finishing very fast. Is it Roberts again? Turn the Page raced up to August Moon. Turn the Page takes the lead, about a nose in front. August Moon comes back. Turn the Page, August Moon, stride for stride, nose for nose, photo finish, almost a dead heat. Turn the Page and August Moon, and they've hit it together. Third Zafira from...
Yeah, what a great race the WA Oaks was for 2023. August Moon just holding off Turn the Page, and as we welcome in our main man Scott Bomber Hill. I wasn't on last week, but a man who's been promoting August Moon and Luke Edwards for 12 months or so. Bomber, you jumped off, but she got the result.
Yeah, never been happier to be wrong, Brad, at the end of the day. But I was pretty keen, the Victorian filly. But no, very, very happy to see August Moon win. She's been very keen on her right from the get-go. So yeah, good result. Good
win. That had a lot of people there. Great to see Luke and Callum win the race, and they celebrated well. But I suppose if you're on the Victorian filly, you're in a bit of trouble when she moved around to the chair, and she didn't look like she charged into it, did she?
No, she didn't, and I actually, I got the race wrong. I didn't think August Moon would get the lead as easily as she did, and then that just allowed Junior just to rate her perfectly once the Victorian filly got there and made it really hard for her. And it was a good race.
Now, before you get your tips, we forgot to do the sponsor for the first race. We got too excited because we were talking to Justin, and Mortz wasn't here. But it is Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist. RAC members receive an additional 5% every day day. As we said earlier, we did mention them earlier. They got the big conference over here, which kicks off at Gloucester Park tomorrow night. They got 50 over here, and the managing director apparently said to Morts, we need to go to Gloucester Park. We had such a good time last year. So great to have them back. They're going to be there, and I'm tipping, Hayden, if the Retrovision team win, it's going to be a big celebration if Morts wins any races.
Yeah. Oh, well, we know how Morts
there might be 10% off RAC by the end of the night.
Double discount.
Yeah, depending on how we go. But it's great to have Retrovision as our sponsors, and great to have them at GP tomorrow night. Let's get into our markets for tomorrow night. The first race we're going to look at, but we are racing, as I said, big meeting tomorrow night at Gloucester Park. 10 races. The James Brennan Memorial Group to $100,000 is the feature race. 553 is the first. The first race we had a look at is the Val Dulcie Brindley Pace. She's was a member of Gloucester Park, unfortunately passed away. One of our oldest members, 90 plus for Dulcie. So condolences to the family, but we're honouring her tomorrow night with race number 3. It's the first race that Bomber is going to preview. And as I have a look at the Tab Touch market, and we have C. Ryan Fly at open up 420 to 310. Jaspervella Beach 15. Waterbro at 19. I'm a 5-star General $6. Lamandiere 23. Valentine's Brook the favourite $2.70 and solid. Thompson Bay $18. Getting wiggy with it $26 off the back of last week's win. Otis $6.50 and Cordero $9.50 off the back line. Bomber, what do you think of the third race?
Yeah, but Jaspervella Beach opened up a massive price here. Radsy's a horse that looks to lead, and other fourth up from a spell. I'd suggest he's got better each run this prep, so he should be pretty well spot on for this assignment. And Emily gets the chance to rate him perfectly in front. I'm sure he'll give us a great side at a big price. 56.4 last week when beaten comfortably, but he finished right alongside Valentine's Brook there, and he's opened up around the $3 mark here in favourite. So he looks to probably sit in the breeze over the long trip, and I thought Jaspervella Beach, rock hard fit, running along in front, he's going to take some beating.
How confident he crosses C. Ryan Fly?
Yeah, into the 90s, I'd say, Hayden.
Okay.
He does fly the gate, and I don't think C. Ryan Fly will want to get into a duel.
Yeah, and but Emily...
He comes off stand-start races as well, and, drawn one. It can be a little bit tricky back into the mobiles, I think.
Emily did declare last week that she wanted to lead if she could. Ultimately, she was crossed by Talks Up a Storm, so that indicates that she would like to lead this week, you'd expect, even over the longer trip. How are we staking this one?
Yeah, 1 unit bet. He's obviously, like I said, I think he just keeps getting better and just too good a price to let him go around, I think.
Actually, the story in the West today on the website about Liam Ryan going to Cannington Dogs on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah, I saw the photo with Bungee Man.
Yeah, there we go.
I've actually seen him there quite a few times when I've been there, so we need to drag him over to Gloucester Park.
Yes, indeed. All right, the next race we're going to look at is race number 4. And as we have a look at the Tab Touch marker for race number 4, which is the Villiers Family Bakery. Great pies, Villiers pies. We'll have a look at the market. Hang on.
I've got it here. Do you want me to go through?
Yeah, can you go through the market?
Talks Up a Storm, number 1 is $2.90. 2 Faster Than Dad, $4.60. 3 Babyface Adder, $41. 4 El Chema, $7.50. 5 What's Up Sunshine, $61. 6 The Code Breaker, $6.50. 7 Mr. Fantastic, $126. 8 You're So Fine, $5.50. 9 Vampiro, $21. 10 Master Publisher, $21. 11 Jetstar, $10. 12 Al Capone, $13. 13 Mea Culpa is $3. And 14 Blitz and Buy, $10. So one of the two emergencies is actually the second favourite in the race. What's happening here, Bomber?
Yeah, well, it's hard not to be impressed with Faster Than Dad when he resumed, and I just thought there's so much speed across the front line here. He looks to just posse up sort of midfield-ish from the 2 draw, and he's got such lightning speed late. If a few have a crack early here, and I think they will, with Talks Up a Storm from the pole, he doesn't begin nearly as quickly from down there as he does out wide, so I'd expect there'll be a few have a crack, and it could set it up nicely for this bloke just to use his high speed late.
So, given that fact, Bomber, how confident are we? What do we stake it?
Still just the 1 unit bet, but there's plenty of chances. This is a cracking race, and I think you've just mentioned there, Mia Culper, he's terribly short around the $3 mark, I would have thought, but still probably 5 or 6 chances in the race.
Yes, there are. So 1 unit there from for Bomber and for Faster Than Dad. And as you say, a very, very good race, including El Gemma, who's, we know that the apprentice horses will improve exceptionally fast. So could be very good if there's a bit of speed on early. There's be plenty of horses hitting the line strong. All right, the horse that we mentioned has drawn the pole, Talks Up a Storm. He was drawn 8 last week. Tell you what, is that the race we come and watch with you, Hayden? That charged across myself, Pike in the last.
Yeah.
And Kyle
caught us all on the hop.
Yeah, straight across from barrier 8. He was $51.
He wasn't after he crossed. he actually was about 5 or 6, which was still far too generous.
Yes, and once he got across, I think he knocked out a number of quaddies all up. So I think he paid to a few multi bets. But as we go to the break, let's listen to the front running drive of Kyle Harper on Talks Up a Storm.
The Storm is trying to fight back. They're well clear. Valentine's Brook out wide, held up is behind the Master Publisher in the straight. Talks Up a Storm still in front. Shell Patch for the moment can't get there. Talks Up a Storm is holding Shell Patch clear of Valentine's Brook, and Jasper Vella Beach and Mr. Fantastic, and Talks Up a Storm all the way in a boil over has won well. Second home is Shell Patch. Third, 20 metres away, Valentine's Brook.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
2002 around the turn, Minstrel clear, himself is into the clear, jumping Jack Mack battling on, Mighty Ronaldo running on, in front Minstrel from himself, Mighty Ronaldo, Minstrel's in front's going to do it all the way, himself, Mighty Ronaldo flashes up, might get second, but Minstrel wins from Mighty Ronaldo who flew, and third himself, and then came over.
Yes, Minstrel held on too good. That was win 18 from his 48th start and took him over the $650,000 barrier, and he comes in. He's in the James Brennan Memorial, which is the feature race tomorrow night, and we'll have a look at that market in just a moment. But this segment is brought to you by Steel Blue Boots. Built for comfort, made for work, 730 odd stockists nationwide. They're not only a mark of true skill, but they are the best boots in the business. Make sure you go to steelblue.com.au for all the information about whichever boots you need, because if you need a work boot, they are the best. And our man, Ross Fitzgerald, will be there tomorrow night. I think he owns 4 or 5 going around, and he could be as busy as Mort's going in and out of the winner's room. We'll see what happens. All right, the next race we got a preview with Bomber Hill is the James Brennan Memorial. It is the Group 2 worth $100,000, the feature event of the night. And this is a great lineup leading into the Cups. And we have the Stratton in 2 weeks' time, and then the WA Pacing Cup, sponsored by Tab Touch, 2 weeks after that. Let's have a look at the Tab Touch market for the James Brennan. Jumpin' Jack Mack, $340. Himself, $21. Steal a Show, open $320 into $250 and is a favourite of the James Brennan. Tenzing Bromac, $5. Mighty Ronaldo, $16. Minstrel, $14 in from $21. Penny Tiger, $19. Wild West, the outside of the field, $126. Petronas Star, $51. Then we got inside the back line, we got Diego, the Pacing Cup winner from earlier this year, at $10. Galactic Star, $61. And Prince of Pleasure at $13. Dominated by Bond and Hall runners, Bomber, but this is a cracking race. Money comes for Steal the Show. I suggest that most people think that he will be the leader then.
Yeah, well, initially I was thinking along those lines, but, Jumping Jack Mackey's not one that you think of as a leader, but interestingly, he's never been crossed when drawn barrier one, and he's actually held out some very fast beginners in doing so as well. So yeah, I thought, just going back through some videos, that he might be more of a chance in holding Still the Show than initially first thought. He might have got lucky Still the Show last time off the gate when just about all of them would have expected Diogo to hold easily, and then he got the chance to pull their pants down. But I've looked at a few replays, and he drew 3 outside Monty Ronaldo, Still the Show, and he wasn't able to cross him. So I think it just gives Jumping Jack Mack a real chance to keep his legs underneath, and even if he doesn't, he doesn't have to lead to win. So he was the one I ended up going with, and he's in really, really good form, and out in front he could give him a side if he can hold up.
Yeah, against his pattern last start, Jumping Jack Mack moving to the breeze, and they just kept running, and I thought he actually fought on pretty well considering. Prior to that, he'd been hammering the line from unpromising positions. So if he is to be in front, he gets his big opportunity there tomorrow night.
Penny Tiger went back last start. We know how fast he is. Is there any chance of him having a throw of the stumps tonight from a wide barrier?
I don't think so over the trip. I just think they're probably, still there's bigger things in mind for him. Obviously, he'll get his opportunity to run the gate at some point, but I'm not sure over the longer trip tomorrow night would be the time to do it.
I was actually looking on Tuesday, I think, when the fields came out. Jumping Jack Mack hasn't won for 51 weeks, but in that time, I think he's won like $280,000.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
He's run a lot of placings in a lot of Group 1s and been runner of the race in most of them, I reckon.
Mm.
Yeah, he had a real purple patch there where he was just, he was the horse of the week every week, but as Hayden says, hasn't been able to actually hit the line in front. But if you're picking up 280,000, I suggest you don't fine too much.
They're still on good terms with themselves, aren't they?
What's the staking plan here, Bomber?
Yeah, 2-unit bet. The more I look at it, the more confident I become that he can hold up, and if he does, he's going to take some beating.
All right, and the final race we're going to look at is race number 9, and it is the Sky Racing Mobile Pace. Sky Racing, of course, sponsor the WA Derby coming up, which we've discussed at length tonight. We've got from the pole Duty Bound, opened $1.70, touched $1.80, back into $1.70. Cherry on the Cake 19, Cavalry Call 51, Battle Scarred 31. How do you pronounce the 5? Tavarych at $41. Brookie's Jet 71. Cowboys and Bant at $6.50. Maddie 71. Rambo Rabbit, who Hayden suggested might be able to get across from the outside, $3.70 to $3.40. And then we've got Our Star Watch inside the back line 16. Naming Lights at 17. Bomber, how do you see the second last race going?
Yeah, I hope Hayden's wrong because I just think Duty Bound's the banker of the night. I thought he could hold up from the inside. I do concede that Rambo Rabbit's probably the only one with any remote chance of crossing, but he drew 80 recently, the 7.7 lead time from the same start, and he couldn't get close to crossing, and they went 157 that night. Duty Bound drew 1. He let the Flying Diamond Beach roll to the front in the same lead time, and then he smashed the line in a 155 mile, and he's been exceptional in his 2 runs since. I thought he'd hold Rambo Rabbit and just win.
I will stress that I didn't say he would cross.
No.
I just asked Justin if he planned to cross.
He asked the question.
No, and in truth, I haven't done the form on the race. So you're the man for the job, Bummer. What are we staking this one?
Well, I hope you're right, Hayden. I'm all in on this. It's a 5-unit bet. I love the way this horse has come back, and I really do think this is his chance, and it can only be Junior off the gate that can take it away from us, I think.
All right, a 5-unit bet for race 9, number 1 Duty Bound for Gemma Heyman and the great AC Lewis, and currently 170 on Tab Touch. Did touch 180, as I said, but 170 with the boost. You're probably going to get $1.80 with the boost, maybe 185 if you're lucky. So 5-unit bets. All right, Bomber, have you got a multi for us?
Yeah, a couple that have been following and haven't had a lot of luck in recent times. Race 2, number 4, Classic Choice. I think he finds his race. He was something beaten last start at a good price. He's much shorter tomorrow night, but I think he'll lead and win. Even if he shifts in the breeze, I think he still wins this race. And into race 8, number 10, Rockaball for the place. So I think he gets the gun run, 3 pegs, and just looking for that soft run that he can sprint off. And I think tomorrow night's the night for that.
All right, we got Classic Choice, who's $1.95.
Jesus Christ. In that first race, Piragua Ad Astra's been 12 into 4 already.
Okay.
Geez, ought to improve some, I think.
Yeah. So you're going with the Lewis double. So we've got $1.95 Classic Choice into Rockaball at $1.70 a place, which is $3.31 the all up. But
$3.90 now, Piragua.
Oh, there we
It's
go.
tumbling by the second.
Yeah. He's a tough horse to charge in late, isn't he? He does a few things wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And yeah.
It might have been a good bet at the $12, but once you start getting under the 4, it might be a little bit harder to take.
Well, Classic Choice is the better horse, and he can probably breeze and sit outside him and still beat him anyway. So we'll find out anyway.
Fully agree.
Yeah, just hopefully that for you guys that Tricky Mickey doesn't get out if they've gone hard enough late back on the pegs, which Morts will be hoping for. Bomber, did you hold on in the NRL tipping contest?
Oh, geez, barely. I had Penrith in the grand final, and Nathan Cleary sort of took it all up to him in the last 15 minutes and allowed me to hang on. But
I almost turned it off after the third try from Mam. I've had enough of this.
How's Ezra Mam? He's gone from being, folklore to nobody talking about him.
To now, Nathan Cleary's one of the greatest 20 minutes displays in a grand final ever, and that performance ranks up with one of the great halfback performances, Nathan Cleary. If you're not a rugby league supporter, it was a wonderful performance from just about the best player in the game in Nathan Cleary. But let's not talk about the AFL Bomber, because apparently you and Morts didn't go so well.
No, well down the track there, and I think runaway winner there, and we couldn't even see him. He was that far in front.
Yeah, and Stuart McDonald's still celebrating apparently with his Collingwood. But anyway, mate, hopefully we find a few winners tomorrow night. I tell you what, it's a great race card. The racing is, as we spoke about it earlier, but coming in this time of year, this is what the feature race program's designed around, and it's been great racing for the last month, and it's going to be great racing coming into the last couple of months of the year as well.
Yeah, it sure is. There's some super horses going around, and we're going to see some ripper racing.
Yep, we sure are. Bomber, thanks for your time. We'll speak to you next week.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Scott Bomber Hill, and hopefully we can find some winners again this week. She was nominated, Hayden, Wonderful to Fly, for the James Brennan, but obviously didn't accept. Interesting to see. I thought it might have been a race that she might have had to throw up the stumps at against the open class horses leading into the mares races, but she's got some mares races, and also she's eligible for the 4-year-old races, so he's got a few options, Shane Young, with this mare.
Spoilt for choice, Shane, and no doubt.
And she's good enough to race in like all of them.
As Shane often does, he's taken the cautious approach rather than throwing her in the deep end. Not for fear, but
no, you can't blame him.
He is a sagacious, shrewd kind of operator, Shane, I think his program with her this year has been fantastic, and giving her every opportunity to dominate the mares races. And then even if she goes the mares races into that Golden Nugget, Retribution Golden Nugget, he's got to give her every chance to maximise. Absolutely, as he should.
Exactly. All right, let's go to the break and let's listen to WA's best mare, Wonderful to Fly, in a one-act affair.
Miss Lamar and well back Born to Boogie, Sahara Storm. Wonderful to Fly is in front, looks like a Peg's Affair as Simply Shaz runs into second, and Don't Be Silly Chili runs through into third on the inside of Paracat, but Wonderful to Fly is clear from Simply Shaz, Don't Be Silly Chili and Born to Boogie late to break the $200,000 barrier, but Wonderful to Fly races home to win brilliantly by 5 metres to Simply Shaz, 3 metres.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
But it's all over. Look at Henrik Larsson go, the real Henrik Larsson. Look at him. He's 25 metres in front of Path of Gold. Prince Sahara's run a pretty good race. Better My Dreams on the inside. But Henrik Larsson is going to absolutely bolt up and goes past the base from Path of Gold and Prince Sahara running on Gov Stars. But a brilliant win.
What can't he do? The great junior, Hayden.
A man of many talents.
And good to see you, been with Luke and they've had troubles with it, but they were all out there after the win on Tuesday night.
Yeah, even before the race, one or two of the owners came up and gave him some kisses, so good to see them passionate about the horse and coming down, and no doubt they would have been delighted by that effort.
He's enigmatic, would you say?
I would agree. You're talking about the horse or the trainer?
Well, the horse, but the trainer can be on occasions, I would imagine. Now, this segment is brought to you by Loans 123, car loans, debt consolidations, all your personal finance. Who do you see? It's the main man, the nude nut, Steve Sell, loans123.com.au or 1-800-100-100. All right, big weekend of harness racing coming up. We've got Gloucester Park, a big double, Hayden, Friday night, then into Saturday night. A big return to Collie on Sunday, and then Pinjarra Monday night and Northam Tuesday night, and some really nice races over the weekend. Have you had a look at the form?
I have. I've drilled down early doors, and I've got one at Pinjarra, one at Northam, and also one at Gloucester Park Saturday.
All right, Saturday night we've got the 9 races, the first at 6:01. What have you got for us at the Gloucester Park meeting Saturday night?
Just race 5, number 1, Unlucky, who has been desperately so in recent times. The only query I have is the error she made when drawn 1 4 starts ago. That was uncustomary, though. Previously, she'd shown good gate speed over East, and I think it enhances her price, and also assisted by the fact that the fastest beginner aside from her is Secret Reaction, although Torrevie and Amy can get out quickly. Secret Reaction's drawn right beside her, which will help Unlucky. I think she can dig up. Her form's good enough to win from the front. She should be winning race 5, number 1.
All right, Sunday Collie, the first race at 1:55 p.m. on Sky 2. 7 races. Good to see Collie back into the action on Sunday. Monday at Pinjarra. We have 9 races, the first at 12:43. A couple of really nice horses going around here, Hayden, including a big clash between, we've got Skylord, who's heading towards the Derby, and Major Express, who's first up after a long layoff.
Very talented horse, Major Express.
And Bean Scooten is a really talented horse in the race as well.
Only defeated once in WA, Major Express. That was back nearly 4 years ago now when he galloped first time out in the West. Since then, he has been absolutely perfect. We haven't seen him at the races since June of 2021, so 2.5 years ago. However, he trialled up in dynamic fashion there, home 28.8, 27.8, punctuating that he's not too far off the mark and could be a mouth-watering clash between he and Skylord on Monday.
Well, Skylord, he's getting ready for a Derby. I suppose he thought,
nice easy kill.
Yeah, we'll get a Pinjarra, but run into a very smart one. What have you got for us at Pinjarra?
Race 8, the race immediately after. Number 4, Luca. He's not going to be great odds, but he'll be winning. He was superb winning at Pinjarra Monday, did the dirty work in the breeze, responded magnificently to come away and win with a leg in the air there. He's a top horse that Bill Hayes has got a hold of. Good to see Bill Hayes, who rarely has many horses, and particularly horses that near the calibre of Luca, getting some success with him. So hopefully, long may it continue, and it should do so on Monday. Race 8, number 4, Luca.
Yeah, great 9-race card at Pinjarra Monday. And then Tuesday night we go to Northam. There's a 7-race card, the first at 5:28. Have you got a winner there for us?
I do. Race 4, number 9, Bricky's Dream, another that's not going to be handsome odds, but I think we multi up. Unlucky's going to be the greatest odds. We'll get the cash Saturday, parlay it to Monday, parlay it to Tuesday, and then we'll be happy campers.
Yes.
Race 4, number 9, Bricky's Dream. Robbie Williams spoke in the pre-race interview before his first up effort and said he was really happy how the horse was going and he was hoping for a lucrative preparation, and he certainly put forward claims with that effort first up to suggest that is going to be the case. He breezed, battled on grandly into third in 155.4. He's no stranger to a standing start, so that's not going to worry him too much. Looks the clear outlier in terms of class in that race. Should be winning. Race 4, number 9, Bricky's Dream.
On the same card at Northam, we have the Tab Touch 3-year-old North Eastern Districts Council Derby. Star Lavery on the outside. I'd imagine he'll go round favourite.
He should do. There's going to be some opposition though. Bronzed has been going well and Instigator's drawn underneath him, so that could make his task a bit tougher. Instigator is a pretty tough horse who hasn't had much luck, so if he could press forward, find the front, that could make the job a bit harder for Star Lavery, but he's a pretty imperious kind of operator, Star Lavery. He's an imposing big horse, and he can get the job done. He'll be a deserved favourite in that race.
All the horse 3-year-olds coming back, getting ready for this derby. He's got a couple in on Friday night in that 3-year-old race, including Mr. Smarty. It'd be great to see him back.
Skylord.
Skylord is for Jocelyn on a Monday.
Yeah.
But some really nice horses going around. Of course, Never Ending. He's the superstar by Sweet Lou. There's a superstar in America by Sweet Lou called Confederate who goes all right, that Timmy Tetrick drives. Like he ran the fastest time ever by a 3-year-old at the Red Mile during the week. Then backed it up with another quick win after doing all the work. He's certainly a superstar over there, Confederate. But these Sweet Lou's, they seem to be rolling, and neither of them have got a big white face either. They're sort of exceptions to a lot of the Sweet Lou's with the big blaze, but some really outstanding Sweet Lou's going around, including Never Ending as a 3-year-old and Confederate in America. But there you go. See it pop up on the Tetrick social media.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering.
It's one of the few horses he doesn't drive in his own colours. They're the Diamond Farm Syndicate colours, the white with the diamonds across it. So, but he's a superstar Confederate. He's the next big sire to come along, I think, out of America. And our mate Timmy Tetrick has got the steer on him. Big show. It was a fairly long interview with JP. It would have been longer, I think, if Mortz was here.
It would have been about twice as long, I think.
Well, we didn't ask about all those other horses that Mortz owns that are getting ready to come back.
Yeah.
That he did last time. Didn't ask about anyone else's horses bar his own.
Yeah, that was interesting. Hey, yeah.
But big night tomorrow night. 8 runners for JP, and tell you what, there's some runners in there that will Tricky Mickey's first up, and if they go hard, he's certainly got to play his part. El Chema's, he's a fast horse.
He's a really nice horse, but he's sort of always
no hobbles.
Lived in the shadow of another one in Justin's camp, but it could be his breakout campaign.
Yeah, he certainly went much better without the hobbles, and he's fast. But great to see that all these runners are the strength of the meetings. Are absolutely fantastic at the moment, and I got to be so right to the end of the year. So really looking forward to it. Anything else for us?
Don't think so.
Takes us out. No cryptic clue.
I could give you one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about one on the way in.
Okay.
Gloucester Park tomorrow night.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a weird one. The ornithologist's solecism.
Okay. All right.
I had a lot of time to think in that traffic, and that's what I came up with.
There was a fair bit of traffic on the Mitchell Freeway this afternoon. All right, what was that one more time?
Ornithologist's solecism.
Okay. All right.
You might need Google.
Yeah, no. Indeed we will. Indeed we will. All right, mate. Thank you for that. Thanks again for helping us out. No doubt more to be back next week. I don't know whether I will. You might have to fill in.
I'll be here. Well,
you'll be here. That's the mate. You're the anchor of the show.
There's the... I'm the dependent variable.
You are. You're the anchor of the show, and we appreciate you a great deal. Good luck to Morts and the team tomorrow night. Good luck to everyone if you're having a bet or got a horse running. It's going to be a fantastic night. The James Brennan. Until next week, it's bye for now.